Chasing the Bling, the legacy of Coach Mike Albergini. When Sacramento's head varsity coach at Grant High met with his football team at the beginning of the 2008 season, it was for the buy-in to his belief. The Grant Pacers should, could, and would chase the bling, the elusive State Bowl championship and the ring he had waited 39 years to get. He's built a legacy, 4 decades as one of the nation's winningest high school coaches. 15 league titles, 6 section crowns, 18 consecutive playoff berths, 2 undefeated seasons in the last 3 years alone, and 615 coaching victories. Arguably one of the most underrated coaches in the country, Coach Al's varsity football record is 192, 32, and 1. He mentors 6 assistant coaches, many who played for him in their youth. According to Rodney Ford, a high school teacher who played right linebacker for the Pacers in the 70s, Coach Al is often the only male role model that many of his players look up to. He has dissuaded them from gang affiliation, drugs, and dropping out. With several former football players now in the NFL, one wonders why Coach Albergini had to challenge the system and fight so hard against the obvious bias blocking his inner-city team.
When I interviewed Coach Albergini, I learned that he had coached several undefeated seasons, yet the 10 commissioners of the California Interscholastic Federation would not recognize the competitive prowess of the Pacers. They had been passed over consecutively for the State Bowl game by the CIF in favor of the 6-time national champs De La Salle from Napa, California.
So he went for the Hail Mary, taking his team all the way to Pocatello, Idaho on a bus to play against the Highland Rams for the win. He did the same thing the following week with a perennial power in Utah. All this to prove the strength of schedule. The Pacers can match up with any team in the country. By mid-season, he had nicknamed his team Invincible. By season's end, Coach Al had the community and the media on his side. His campaign paid off.
For the first time ever, Albergini's Pacers were selected from among 47 sectional champions and received an invite to compete for California's State Bowl championship. They would play in Carson at the Home Depot Center in the Premier Open Division, the best of the best.
The only thing between the 61-year-old defensive mastermind Albergini and the bling was Long Beach Poly, a virtual breeding ground for gridiron elites. With 18 section championships, the heavily favored Poly Jackrabbits were ranked number 1 in every state poll and number 2 in the nation by ESPN Rise. They had a reputation of having more alumni in the NFL than any prep program in the country, 59 to be exact. But Albergini had taken the Pacers to the pinnacle of state high school football, and they were playing for the bling. Strategizing before a rowdy stadium crowd of more than 14,000, a huge TV audience, and real-time podcast, Albergini coached the game of his life. In one of California's most spectacular championships, the Pacers rallied to the end and upset the Jackrabbits, clutching the win at 25-20 for the title, a perfect season, 14-0. It was time to party. The city hosted a parade. Mayor Kevin Johnson gave Coach Al the key to the city. The state assembly gave a proclamation, and Senator Darrell Steinberg presented the team from Sacramento's poorest school with $30,000 to pay for their rings. Until then, they were content with not getting the bling, but merely being satisfied they had earned it.
USA Today ranked the Grant Pacers number 6 in the final prep polls for 2008. The Pacers captured 13 scholarship offers as a result. Albergini was named the Bees Coach of the Year and Rivals National Coach of the Year, honors that hadn't come easy for an old-school coach in one of Sacramento's notoriously toughest, most crime-ridden neighborhoods. Turning down offers left and right, Coach Al isn't going anywhere.
I love this place, he said. It's been a perfect fit, and I've had some other chances to coach at higher levels, but I'm going to start and finish right here. According to Coach Al, he's completely attached. As for retirement, that won't happen anytime soon either, and it's not in Coach Al's game plan. For nearly 40 years, Mike Albergini has been on a mission. As the saying goes, Pacer for life.
All he ever really wanted was to teach his players the value of believing in yourself against all odds and striving to be the best at whatever you do. Despite the challenge, live the dream, go for the gold, and chase the bling.